Welcome back to the Better Idea Group channel, and in this video today we're going to get to know the AHA tool that we've created. The tool was created really to empower our customers to group list items together in a way that they might not have in their source systems. The most popular use case is a situation where users have their own chart of accounts and they need to categorize those accounts in a way that they typically don't want to have on their maybe their GAAP compliant financial statements. They may want to group their companies. They may have a multi-company organization, and they want to group those into different regions or ownership areas. So really, it's all about being able to take your list items, whether it's an account, company, customer, job list, items, vendors, and put them together in a unique, different grouping. What does that look like? So we have the system configured with a bunch of templates and defaults. So really you can get started understanding what it looks like as just as easy as a 1, 2, 3, right? Get started, you go select your list. So start with the chart of accounts. On the left-hand side, go grab a reporting model. One of the most popular reporting models is just the financial reporting one, the one that lists your net income, your gross profit, your regular expenses. And then go ahead and grab one of the list items on the right-hand side and map that over to the left-hand side so that you literally just have this ability to see every one of your accounts mapped under a typical financial reporting hierarchy. Once you've done that, all you need to do is go ahead and save the information. Let's take a quick look at what the screen looks like. Here we have on the left-hand side that reporting model that I talked about. On the right-hand side, we've got the accounts to be mapped. Now, this view is showing almost all the accounts already mapped, because literally we do move that account when you drag and drop it. So you know exactly what accounts have or have not yet been mapped to your reporting model. A couple of other things to look at, and that would be the filters. Down here is the current filter. Typically that's going to be your income statement or balance sheet. On the far right hand side, we allow you to filter out like your inactive accounts. And then down here under categories, we felt it was important to be able to let you look at all your income accounts or all your expense accounts or cost of goods sold. So we allow you to filter it. And as you can see down here in the thing, we also color code different account types. So your income accounts are all green, your expenses are all red, your cost of goods sold are all blue. So that's the basic layout of the screen. Let's dive a little deeper and look at, the reporting model situation. So I said we've already created a number of different default reporting models. We've created a tax mapping for Schedule C, a tax mapping for an S Corp. We've also got a default template out there for what we call MSP, Managed Service Provider metrics, where we are grouping together revenue of different types and cost of goods sold different type. But you don't need to use our standards. We also have the ability to allow you to start from scratch and build out an entire model from scratch in this tool. Or alternatively, we also allow you to import from a CSV file a reporting model. One use case for that would be if you have an existing franchise standard that you want people to do. This tool really originated over a decade ago when we were pulling together standard line items for one of our clients, and they had 10 line items that every essentially franchisee needed to report. And this allowed them to go say, here's the 10 line items. We don't care what you call your names. Map them back to these 10. That's the whole drill here. So this is, again, like what the tool looks like, but your alternate hierarchy over here can be anything you want it to be, whether it's your preferred chart of accounts. There's one client that has a industry standard chart of accounts, and this helps people transition over from whatever they have to their standard chart of accounts. So really, any grouping that you want. We even did one grouping for Georgia Commission of the Arts. They had a very specific way of using it. So enough of all this talk. Let's go jump into the product and do a quick little demo now. Okay, so as soon as we open up the application, it's a great big blank screen, and we totally understand somehow. People may be confused by that, but we look at it the same way we look at Word, Excel, PowerPoint, where it opens up to an empty document and you need to start doing stuff. So the way that we envision people using this is first go grab a source. So in this case, I'm going to go grab my chart of accounts from my QCube data file. All right, so I'm just going to select it in the drop down. And the next thing that happens is it's going to go out to my Cube database, look at all the companies that are loaded there, and tell me which of the companies do I want to actually get the chart of accounts for. So I'll go down to the Rockcastle Construction Company, and I say okay, and it's going to go ahead and bring in all of the accounts from there. So then I have to go, well, what am I going to do with that? What's my reporting model going to look like? So for my purposes today, I'm going to stick with a couple of the samples that we ship. So the first one I'll look at is the financials hierarchy, right? It's a very simple hierarchy because it just shows you your net income, your gross, your ordinary income versus your net other income, etc. One of the reasons I want to show you this is because we have an ability here to go ahead and auto map your chart of accounts to this simple hierarchy. So I want to let you see what that looks like. So when I do that, it says anything that you've already done is going to be gotten rid of. So we say yes, and it goes and matches the account type on your chart of accounts to effectively the miscellaneous field in the reporting model, so that everything maps over correctly. Once I do that, if I go ahead and hit Save Mapping Data, right, it's going to go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to go put it in a file. In this case, I already had the file, so it's going to overwrite it, which is fine. I've done the demo a couple of times now. And so this is actually a completed mapping. And so the question always then comes up, well, how do I consume that file? And so it's a really simple use case. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my directory where that file is stored. And you can see there's a directory there called AHA Accounts. And this is the file that we just created today. So it turns out that this file is really just a very simple text file, right? With a link to account ID, the name of the model, etc., etc. So how do we envision people using that? There's a couple of ways that you actually use that mapped file. The first is in Power BI specifically. So in order to use it in Power BI, I'll go ahead and open up Power BI so that we can get a look at it. So in this case, I've actually just pulled in job costing details from Cube. So I'm going to say I'm going to go get data. And in this case, I'm going to go get it from a CSV file because that's the model that how we've actually pushed the data out there. It's going to ask me where to go grab that information. And I'm going to point it right back down to that directory. And down here, I'm going to say all files because we make the file an extension of ACCTS. So there's the file that I just created. And when I open that file in Power BI, you can see that it's carefully crafted the data into its columns, just like we did it. And we're going to go ahead and just load that information into Power BI. Again, this is a default model for Cube. with literally the rock castle construction sample data file, right? And so once we've done that, it's going to go ahead and create a brand new item over here, right? Financial hierarchy. So what we really want to do is, in this case, we want to make sure that it's wired up correctly. So here it is. And what we have, the way we've crafted this, the names are identical, right? So if I go look at my job cost values here, the link fields, right here, link to account, it's right there, link to account. So if I just join those up, it's a one-to-one relationship if you've only done one mapping. If you've done a couple of mappings, then there might be more than one. But in my case, it's a one-to-one mapping, so it's fine. And so once I've done that, then let me put a brand new page up here, and we can see that I can go grab the report line descriptions, and it's going to map directly to the account name. Whoop, account name. Right, so, oops, it's going to go and map that. And so then under my equity account, there they are. My expense accounts are all listed. And it's just auto map that, right? So all we've done is we've taken the unique number that looks for an account, and we've mapped that to these new descriptions. So that's a very quick and easy use case on like how we envision that. So let me go to a little more complex one in the next video.